Have you ever picked up a new game and then like 100 hours later you were just facepalming thinking to yourself, only if I knew this earlier? Yeah, me neither. Not even once. Hey everyone, it's Verti here, and today we're gonna dispel a few myths, pick up a few tricks, and hopefully learn a thing or two about being a better teammate to our friends over the internet. But first, if you're new here, happy to have you. Welcome to the channel. Consider liking and subscribing if you'll enjoy the content. It helps the YouTube algorithm a lot. And since I'm just a growing little boy, it doesn't know what to do with me. And we can all agree that everybody needs to know about these videos, right? Yeah. As a thank you, here's a picture of a cute corgi puppy. And now, let's get straight into the video. First things first, what I've done, I've broken down the video into 5 different chapters. Basics, leveling, combat, advanced combat, and equipment. And the reason I've done this and not just given you a list of 1 to 10 of my favorite tips is because those videos exist in spades out there from much better content creators than myself, so give them some love, right? And secondly, because I wanted to give you more of a holistic understanding in how things correlate to one another and what's the causality, so that you can apply it to yourself and you can apply it years down the line when new content and new things get added. You know how to think about it. And with that, let's jump into basics. And by basics, I mean understanding the perks and the damage mitigation and the importance of health in this game in particular. So here, and I guess that's tip number 1, is when you're under 30% health, you get a damage reduction, a very significant damage reduction. What that means is that when you're looking at perks and you see something like a prestige perk for Fortitude with 15% extra health, they become significantly better because it allows you to sustain and stay alive longer. And I know what you're saying. I can hear you. I can hear you. You want to become a glass cannon, big damage, boom, boom, one-shot, mega killing machine. And that's fine. Those builds are awesome and they're fun. Don't limit yourself. Try them. That's okay. But you need to realize that on higher difficulties, especially on absolute and lethal, survivability is paramount. You're always one unfortunate sequence away from mopping the floor, and you don't want to be that guy. So, with regards to the perks, it's perfectly okay and just as good to not only take the damage perks for weapons and for yourself, but also the sustainability ones. So the likes of the ammo reserve, the max capacity, the Emperor's Vengeance, right, that we talked about in a short, with refilling your magazine. Those will allow you to sustain in higher difficulties where everything is more scarce. So, don't worry about not killing everything in one shot. Every team needs that one guy that can shoot out 7,426 bullets and mow down an entire football field worth of enemies. So if that sounds like something that you'd like, give it a shot. You'll probably enjoy it. And remember, sustain is good. Now this ties us into the second part of the video, which is leveling. And by leveling, I mean prestiging, right? So, I made that mistake, and that's my tip there, right? Don't wait on prestige. Immediately, as soon as you can on level 25, don't do like I did, that for 10 hours I sat on prestige 25, or rather level 25, not prestiging, because I thought it was going to be like in Call of Duty, but all I get is an emblem, and I lose everything, and I'm going to hit like a wet noodle again and be nothing but a threat to my teammates. Not the case here. The prestige perks are very, very strong. You need to get it unlocked immediately. You gotta get to prestige 4. Not to mention that you get a 10% XP boost every single time you prestige that stacks across all your characters. Which means that if you start with the ones you love, because those are gonna take the longest, you're gonna have fun doing it. And then when you get to the later characters that you're not so much fancy, you're gonna do it much quicker because you're gonna have hundreds of % bonus XP every single game. Next to that, the armory datas. And obviously once you unlock relic and everything, you know, you need to unlock all the variants to the guns. We know that, we've talked about this. You can also use armory data to quickly unlock any kind of variations of the weapon that you don't like. So, when you're farming, farm with intent. If you're going into higher difficulties, you need to take your best equipment, right, so that you can help your team. Fine. But on the lower difficulties, especially where you can get like mastercrafted, the purple ones, you can knock it out very quickly, gather those quickly, and unlock everything that's green and purple, all those rubbish variants that you may not want to use, and you can unlock them instantly. That way you save some time, you save some headache for yourself, you don't have to play with everything. Just get the perks because they're strong, right? And with that, we get to combat. And this is a juicy one. So, in this game, running away will not save you. You need to realize that armor regenerates very slowly outside of combat, and health doesn't regenerate at all. Medicae stims are good, but they're the best to use to remove mortal wounds, so don't be the guy that hoards them. Spread it across the teammates. And secondly, the only effective way to restore armor is execution and gun strikes. And the only effective way to restore health is fighting for the contested health. So if you're taking damage, you need to go aggressive and you need to make sure that the white bar fills back up. Don't backpedal. Don't get scared. You're an ultramarine. Smash things, right? So, with that, perfect parries are your lifeline. And that's another tip, right? We talked about this in one of my shorts. The different type of weapons. Parrying is crucial. It will give you executions, gun strike. It will give you gun strike, that will get you executions. It's very good in 1v1ing. You need to understand that block removes the perfect parry completely, but it does give you the highest damage option within the game. If you're good at perfect blocking, you will wipe out entire hordes. But we're talking about certain frames that you need to hit the animation. Balanced is, say, about 40 animations. Blocking weapons is about 20 animations, and fencing weapons are about 60 or 80 animations. Which means that perfect parrying with a fencing is significantly easier than perfect blocking with a blocking weapon. So that has the highest skill ceiling, and once you get good with it, they become the best option. But for a new starter and for someone who is just dying all the time and then having a heck of a bad time, not understanding that how am I supposed to do this, fencing weapon is the solution. That is going to be the weapon that saves your life. And now we get to some more advanced combat tips. So the first thing we're going to cover is the synaptic link exploitation. You know that voice line that the NPCs say or their teammates say automatically that, hey boys, there's a big one, let's fuck it up first. Now that actually makes sense. And the reason why is because killing a Majoris enemy or higher will kill all the small shitlings around it. Which means that fighting the small ones and wasting ammo and resources and all that is not exactly beneficial. You need to stay in the thick of it, like we've talked about, kill the Majoris, and then everything else will die around it. How do you do that? There is a thing called animation cancelling, and you can do that with the parry. If you're using a Thunderous Hammer or something that has a long-winded animation or sequencing animation, or you're stuck in a combo chain, you can hit parry and it will cancel. The reason why that's important is because in this game, your attack follows your movement direction, but your parry follows your camera direction. So you can spot something behind you while you're attacking in one way, and you know that you need to parry that. You can do that. It's important to keep in mind. In the similar fashion, staggering enemies and being aware in the combat on how stagger works is paramount. When you're executing, simple. Everything is going to get staggered around you in a 360 degrees. So if you are having multiple Majoris enemies, you can stun them all. If you're gun striking, however, the gun strike is directional. It's like in a corner shape or in a certain degree field of view. It doesn't stagger everything around you. Why that's important? You can imagine when you're gun striking something behind you that has two Majoris enemies whipping you and then smashing you with their sword, that's gonna hurt. So reposition yourself, stagger everything at once. That's how you kill a lot of enemies. Lastly, how does threat works in this game? So threat works similarly to how it would in any other game, that the more damage you do, the more angrier the mob gets at you, and then it's gonna switch over to you. What that translates in, there is one person that can keep the whole aggro and then tank the whole thing. But if you are with the teammates that are running around and then they're trying to avoid attacking when they're being attacked, they don't do any damage. Which means that if you keep on loading into the boss, it will turn on you eventually. So know how far you are and how quickly it can chain you. Because if it turns around and clocks you, it's gonna hurt. Bonus tip for the big ones like Hellbrute and Carnifex and so on, if they charge into a wall, they're going to get stunned. So use this to your advantage, right? Bait them into it, and then you're going to have an easier time getting them done. And now we're going to talk about equipment. The first thing we're going to discuss is the little loadout boxes that you can choose between 3 different loadouts. Even if you don't have another loadout setup, if you pick the one that you have, it will automatically refill your ammo. Not many people know this. It's a very quick hack, especially on higher difficulties where ammo is much more scarce. But you should have multiple loadouts set up, one for the boss fights and then one for the waves. That's why they're separate weapons, right? Not all the weapons are fitting all the different roles. Make sure to use it and then be clever about it, right? That's the reason why they're there. And the one thing that you also need to understand is how the different grenade works and what the uses are. The frag grenade, big boom in a relatively good area, are very strong. The crack grenades are very, very strong, and if you stick them, you can usually kill a zoanthrope. Well, you can kill a zoanthrope in one hit. You can get the lictor into a vulnerability state. You can kill most of the majority enemies in one grenade. High skill ceiling, shorter throw, you need to make sure that you hit it, but if you hit it, they're very strong. Shock grenades, funnel them into the same direction, then they're very good damage over time. And melter grenades, if you know that it's a scripted fight and where the big enemies are gonna go to, put it down, big boom, easy money, right? Works. And the last one that we're gonna talk about is the gene seed. And why am I mentioning the gene seed? I've noticed, and I didn't know it either, I thought it's like a Guardian relic where only one person gets it, so the first come first serve, and then the 30% XP is only for me. Actually not the case. The 30% XP is team-wide, so it's more of a protect the president kind of situation where give it to the strongest on your team and make sure that that person does not die, because even if he goes down just once, the gene seed is going to be broken. Not a mortal wound, just going down once. Make sure to give it to the strongest person, extract with it, and you're all gonna be happy because 30% XP is loads in this game. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived to the end of the video. Now look, I don't know what percent of you are still with me, but if you are and if you made it this far, thank you very much. You are a true MVP for this channel. If you liked the video, consider liking and subscribing. It helped tremendously. And let me know in the comments, did you enjoy it? Do you think that I could do something better? Let's start a conversation. But as always, I've been Verti. I'll see you in the next one. And remember, you don't have to be bored. Peace!